am a marketer by trade, and I've been active, as Zani said, in the social economy for quite a while now. So the one time I was sitting at, let me start by asking, or saying, in marketing, they usually say you need to service your current clients and nurture the relationships and those relationships that you have, because those relationships are more profitable than trying to acquire new ones. Do you agree? Yeah. Moving from that premise, let me say also one of the facts that I've learned recently is that there are more people alive today than have ever died in the world. Fact. Yes. Right? There are more people in Joburg now than there were people in Joburg 5, 10 years ago. There are more people going into business now as social entrepreneurs or as small businesses than there were 5 years ago. What does that mean? That tells us one thing, that competition is even harder now in the space of trying to do business and trying to, trying to make to just basically be. So there's more competition for stuff, for resources, for networks, for whatever it is. The best way of surviving in this space is creating relationships, nurturing them, and making sure that they work for you and they become profitable. I have seen this work for me, and I'll share the little knowledge and experience that I have with you. So relationships and networking generally is about maybe creating an extended group. I mean, from here, from the little space, and I should know because I used to have, I'm one of those people who are, I talk, I'm open, to the little circle that I have, but I realized that I was more effective in that little circle. It was difficult for me to create new relationships and to extend the circle. So relationships are more about extending the circle, having an extended group, with people who share similar interests and concerns, right? And they remain informal. They don't have to be always formal. They remain informal, but you have to nurture them. You have to make them work. You have to keep feeding the beast, to use the famous phrase. Did you know that studies suggest in the job space, for instance, the majority of jobs that people have are found through networking? And people actually say that if you're referred by someone for a job interview, you actually stand an 80% chance of getting a job than not being referred by someone. I don't care what you've studied and how great you are. But if you have been referred by someone, if you walk into Edgar's, into Anglo-American today, and say, let's just say, and I'm not trying to prop myself up, but if you walk into the vice president at Anglo Gold, Mrs. Yedros Milan, and say to her, Labane Maluleke said, I must come and see you. She sits like this, and you're sitting across over there, and then she says, oh, okay, great. Let's talk. What about? You stand a better chance than having a PhD and applying online and expecting to be shortlisted and get a job or get a project, for that matter. It's statistically true. It has been proven. That's how it works. Unfortunately, I always say in this town, maybe not only in this town, but in this country, in this world, that's how it works lately. I actually don't. I have said I've been an MD. I was an MD for some company that belonged to the Tebe Group for about 2 years, and then I was CEO of a hospital for about 6.5 years. It's default position. A person walks through my door and say, so and so referred me to you. You sit down and listen. A person knocks on the door and they say, I was wondering if you have opportunities for this, that, and the other thing, and I have done these fantastic things, and. There's a point where I just as you start, switch off. And and then give you that opportunity because you're here now to talk and talk and talk, and make sure that you don't go over the time that has been allocated. You know. So unfortunately, that's how it works. Iceberg theory. Guys, this is very important. We've heard of an iceberg, we know an iceberg. Generally, you know, theoretically, the iceberg, what you see on the outside is the top part. And the danger is actually in the bottom part, if you look at the iceberg. But when it comes to opportunities and jobs, projects, what is advertised and what you see in the public space is actually at the top. What is hidden, what you don't know, is what you can get through your networks and the relationships that you have. A lot of stuff is hidden at the bottom here. So what happens, going back to what we spoke about earlier on, there's a lot of, we all are fighting for what is showing up there. Because that's being advertised. You know, Mr. Amla here with his great name will actually respond to a tender. Tick all the boxes. BEE, disabled people, women empowerment, and whatever. Maybe he teams up with Zandi and they go in on a 50-50 basis, or they agree she will be 51. So that's majority, right? 51 and whatever. And they go, they come and compete for those opportunities here. Most of the people that are making a lot of money are people who are competing here. You actually do not even see them. Because this space, as it says, you don't see it, it's below the surface, it's below the water. They flowing, as the expression goes, they flowing under the rain. And you get to ask yourself, but how is Mr. Amla making it? Because I've never seen him in the newspapers. I've never heard anything about him. And I don't know if maybe he's that famous that, you know, he's making front pages or whatever, but I simply do not know him. But judging by and from what was said this morning, he is a big deal to borrow from Zion. He is a big deal. He's doing not to shame. Because we are chasing the opportunities that are above the surface, that are seen by everyone, and folks, please listen to me. There are a lot of opportunities that are out there. These are the opportunities that you access through your relationships and your networks. Just look at how huge that is. Okay, relationships are mainly just, it's a two-way street. It's about teaching and giving. It's about teaching people. You know, when you meet people, teach them who you are, what you are capable of, what you can offer. And then, listening very carefully. Who are they, where do they come from, where they're going, what can I offer them? It's not always about what you can offer, but just to listen, and you never know, you know. Maybe a year down the line, someone would be like, there was a fantastic person I met, and this person I met at the work forum, and her name is Raja, and she's a life coach. I need to refer her to, you know, Anglo-Americans looking for small entrepreneurs who are supplying this kind of service. Why don't I just refer her to, or refer them to them? So that's what relationships are about. So what's important in what's the importance of relationships and networking? Maybe to set positive impressions. When you leave here, you leave people with positive impressions that say, this person can do this kind of a thing, particularly those that are in positions of influence. And to be considered when an opportunity arises in your network. You know, I was, at some point, I was called to Business Against Crime. And I was told, and this was, you know, after my life in South Africa. And they called me and they said, listen, we've heard that you're doing fantastic work, and we would like you to come and join our organization as an executive. And I went there, and I did join them. This was a while back. And I did a lot of work now. I'll talk about that later, you know, when I just give you the Not so long ago, about a year or so ago, I got a call from someone saying, we are setting up a new organization called Ituba. And Ituba is there, for those who do not know, it's an organization that's running the lottery. Not the National Lotteries Commission, but the organization that won the rights to run the lottery. And they took over from Kidani. And they said to me, we're looking for a CEO and we'd like you to come and take over. I did not, it's unsolicited. I did not submit my CV. I did not call anyone. I had no idea at the time, let me also admit, I had no idea at the time that there is a new company that was going to take over the lottery. But through the networks, they somehow made that call to me. Some of these things are overwhelming to a point where you step back and say, what, me? And it happens. And I don't know, sometimes I do make stupid decisions. Yes, I said no, at the time. But I don't know whether it was, I do know that, it was not stupid at the time. Given the same opportunity, I probably would still say no. But the point that I'm making